My name's Mark Denton. I've been a fisherman for 36 years and I skipper the Mallee's Pride. South Australia is one of Australia's biggest seafood exporters and producers. It's a very diverse state, leading from Coffin Bay where there's oysters and tuna farms, kingfish farms, down to where we are, where we have the wild lobster and wild abalone fishery. I work in the southern zone rock lobster fishery. We go out every morning and depending on the weather, leave anywhere between 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, go out, pull 80 pots, then turn around and come home, anywhere between 9 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock at night. We're restricted from the 1st of October to the 1st of May, and we also have a quota. I have 80 pots, and my quota is 8.5 tonne, and whenever I finish my 8.5 tonne, that's when I stop. Fishing's a form of farming. The difference between farmers is they have their stock in paddocks. We actually go and try to find our stock every day. We use a sounder to read the bottom so we can set the pots. Every pot gets marked onto a plotter, which is GPS. I also have a 3D system that shows up the bottom, and then as each pot's pulled, we have to mark it onto an iPad. It's for research and for fisheries. Every cray that comes up in the pot, we have to check for size. It's 189.5 millimetres is the legal size. Anything under that size gets returned. We also check the females for eggs, and if they have eggs under their tail, they get returned to the water as well. Yeah, so this adds to the sustainability, and being on quotas, that limits what we can catch and we can't overfish. When we pull the pot, the deckhand takes the crays out of the pot, puts them into a stack and ester, and then they go into a live tank, which is circulated by the motor to keep them alive. When we unload, we put them into stack and esters. We then have to tag them and take them to the scales, weigh them in, and then off-sell them to a processor. And then they get sent off to China after 3 or 4 days in the tanks to be exported.
My name's Andrew Laurie. I'm the owner of Sky Seafoods. We're Robe's only live lobster exporter. When they come back into the factory, we then grade the lobster into sizes, because we sell to the overseas market in sizes, and I have to know exactly how many fish at any one time for any one grade that I can sell. So we grade them when they come into the factory, and then we put them into our tanks, our holding tanks, in those grades. Our tanks run at around 10 to 11 degrees. We don't want them any colder or any warmer. Any warmer, the lobster get too active and they fight. Our holding tanks are basically a farm within a farming industry, because the fishermen have already farmed the wild and caught the lobster and brought them in. We then put them in our tanks to purge, to relax, ready for export. So we're not actually growing them, but we're tending to them to make sure that they empty their system out and they won't stress when they travel. So we are farming of sort, but not, as we know, ploughing or tilling. We're value adding. We all like to think we're world best practice. We all like to think that we are best managed in the world. If there's any better around, they should be proud. They'll be well managed as well. 95% of our lobster go live export, and of that live export, 99% is to China. The southern rock lobster, especially from the shallow waters, the shallower waters of the red lobster, are known to be strong. They're known to be full of meat. The Chinese, the red's their lucky colour, and they love our lobster. It's strong, and it's from the cold waters, so it's got a good, crispy, fresh taste to it.